Oh, oh,
What do you want?
I can't breathe. Please, the knee in my neck. I can't breathe shit.
Bro, get in the car, man.
I will.
Get in the car.
I can't move.
I've been waiting the whole thing, man. Just get in the car.
Mama.
Get up and get in the car right.
I can't.
Gave y'all the opportunity to get in, bro. I told you can't win.
My knee.
You can't win, man.
I'm through.
I know you're
the chilling last words of George Floyd 1 year ago this week in Minneapolis, where the whole world saw former Minneapolis officer Derek Chauvin with the knee on his neck for more than 9.5 minutes. Here we are a year later, and we just want to reflect back on what we felt, what we saw, what we thought as it was unfolding. Willie Epting Jr., hashtag Brothers of Baseball Show, Big Game Christian Sports Network. Welcome into a brand new episode of this show. I will be rolling, well, not solo. Natalie Turk, my hashtag Sissy of Baseball, is scheduled to join us in the third segment with hashtag Nats Chat. To the dopest engineer in the game, Big Day. There is a reason why you have that title, my friend, because you are all that. Baseball fans all over the planet, what's going on? People fans all over the world. We witnessed it, and you just heard it again 1 year later to the day as of tape time of what took place. Before we move any further in this particular first episode, or first segment rather, it is being brought to you by the I Am Academy. Do you own your own business? Want to have more cash flow? Is the only green you see at your business is the weeds or the grass outside? Well, at I Am Academy, their experts will teach you how to bring in the money with safe and secure ways to do it. Interested? Then give my boy a call, David Minahan, at 209-225-0036. Once again, 209-225-0036. Call today and see your money tomorrow. All right. Once again, appreciate you guys checking us out on Facebook Live as well as Periscope. As I said, I'm going to be rolling solo for this first segment with scheduled appearance. Natalie's supposed to come on. We'll see. She's been very busy up there in Cleveland, covering those Cleveland Indians. But I want to I want to start off the show with what we just heard. I mean, again, a year later, and of course, so many things have taken place in the backdrop of this continued pandemic. And that May 25th of 2020 was the day that George Floyd's life was snatched away from him by Derek Chauvin and those other cops, those other officers that were there keeping the crowd at bay while they pled for Derek Chauvin to get his knee off of George's neck, but to no avail. So a year later, here we are. And please chime in either via Facebook in the comments down below, or you can tweet the show at Shakeback Show. Your comments, your thoughts, whatever. But let me just run the gamut real fast on my feelings and my emotions behind this. As I played that chilling audio once again, it's almost like I was witnessing it all over again 1 year later. It's like it just happened. For those Minneapolis police officers to really just take the law into their own hands. I mean, I know they're the law, but you're the law, but that doesn't mean you're above the law. And that was later proven, just a couple of months ago, or actually a matter of a few weeks ago, in the trial of one said Derek Chauvin. And yes, it was the Derek Chauvin trial and not the George Floyd trial. He was found guilty on all counts. Now, sentencing is actually coming up here pretty soon. I want to say within the next week or so. But let's rewind everything back 1 year when we lost Kobe Bryant. and the tragic helicopter crash, when we lost so many other prominent figures in entertainment as well as in music and sports. Here we have a 6'5" some odd giant from Houston, Texas, that had moved to Minneapolis to try to find a new job in the midst of a pandemic. And he went to the store and purchased some cigarettes, allegedly with a fake $20 bill. And we know the story as it unraveled from there. 1 year later, how do we feel? What do we think is changing? Has anything changed? The George Floyd crime bill is being held up in the Senate, or maybe the House. I think it's the House, for filibuster. They're using the same tactics that they used 300 some odd years ago when a bill was introduced for passing for the benefit or for the betterment of people of color. That's what the filibuster is. That's why it was created, to hold it up as long as possible and to where it would either disappear or get shot down. I was just on the Rachel Hill show up in Cleveland. What up, Rachel? Appreciate you having me on. And we talked about this a little bit. She basically said that she has no hope. And there are a lot of people out there, I understand, that have no hope. I won't say that I have no hope, but I have waning hope. And my fear is that the closer or the further we get away from the tragic event that took place, the more I fear that it's going to be lost in the shuffle. And I'm going to do whatever I can, whatever is in my human powers, with the platform that the BGC Sports Network has afforded me with, has trusted me with, to make sure that not only not this issue goes without being further discussed, but all of the other issues of crime as well, in terms of police brutality and racial injustice and social inequality that continues to plague our nation. I'm not a politician. I am a man. I am a Christian man. I am a husband. I am a father. I am a business owner. I am an employee. I am a show host. I'm all those things. But that would not preclude me from being pulled over one day and ultimately my life being ended. So whatever we have to do, and when I say we, I ain't talking about just black people. I'm not, okay, let me put it this way, because I like to say it like this. I'm not talking about people that are the same shade of color as I am. I'm talking to us, but I'm not talking about that. Okay? I'm talking to everybody that has a ticker that actually pumps blood and not gas to where you are moved to do something. I remember Pastor Norris McGill preaching this, and he said basically like this: the Holy Spirit should prompt us to do something to that effect. And it was a sermon that he preached, I don't know, it was years ago. And that's what the Holy Spirit does. It brings it back to your remembrance, even though you may be slightly off just a tad. But you know what I mean when I say that. So where are we a year later? I think we're in a worse situation than we actually were. I'm going to tell you why. Because of what I just said in regards to the George Floyd Crime Bill Act, the fact that it's being held up. What is the problem, Congress? What is the problem, House? What is the problem, Senate? I don't get it. What's so wrong with requesting that certain things be changed? You know what? I'm so sick and tired of this being politicized. And it continues to be politicized a year later, and even after the verdict. And those other officers, by the way, they will be standing trial in August, I believe it is. So they're going to have their turn in court as well. And even though it's not like a situation of motion to sever, because they didn't commit the crime, They just saw the crime being committed and did nothing. And that's what irks me the most, is because you seeing this and you would rather back your officer that's wrong in for the sake of backing your officer, your fellow officer. Oh, well, he had drugs in the system. Or, well, he had an alleged fake $20 bill. Or he was addicted to drugs. Or better yet, he's a career criminal. Why are we mortalizing a career criminal? The same way that Robert E. Lee was mortalized, the same way that Jefferson Davis was mortalized. These people, Robert E. Lee, Jefferson Davis, in Louisiana, there is a parish named after Jefferson Davis. Owned slaves, participated in lynching of black people, and furthering the divide that was created back then. But people want to get upset, but we want to get upset because George Floyd has a mural. Are you serious? Who did he oppress? What person did he oppress other than possibly himself? That's not a crime. And if it was a crime, it shows not a crime that is worthy of being kneed on to death. Why those officers did not stop, we will never know. We will never know. And it's a shame because they've got to stand. They've got to stand the trial in front of man, but they got to stand trial in front of the Creator. Okay? And the book that I read says this: you pretty much reap what you sow. Not where you sow, but what you sow. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit, but a bad tree cannot produce good fruit. And it's not judgment, it's checking fruit. So I don't understand how some folk out there can continuously say that Derek Chauvin was innocent, even after the evidence proved that he wasn't. And if you want to take the video out of it, take the video out of it. Take the fact that this was seen in front of the world and that everybody actually witnessed what took place. Take that out of it. The evidence was still there that he died because of this reason. Yeah, he had drugs in his system. So what? That ain't what caused his death. So what? He had high blood pressure or diabetes or whatever other pre-existing condition that the defense tried to make a case for in terms of that was the actual reason why he died. And defense attorneys, oh my gosh. I know you have to make a living, but I don't understand how you can have a conscience. And I know that this is the society, or it's supposed to be the society of a fair and just trial. Don't make me laugh. Don't make me laugh. It's intended to be fair and just for the people that said it's fair and just. That's what it looks like. That's what it feels like. Is what it has been. So George Floyd, man, Uncle George, even though you're younger than me, I said this when this first happened a year ago. Uncle George, I don't know, he just feels like my uncle, even though I'm older than he is. Rest in peace, brother. Continue rest in peace. And if I have anything to do with it, please understand, sir, that your killing, your murder, your death, the snatching of your life, the oxygen that was really just choked out of you will not go in vain. As long as I have a platform to talk about this, I don't care if one person listens or if 1 million people listen. It's not going to go in vain because there are other people out here that's going to come after you and come after me that's going to have to deal with this at some point in the future. And it's sickening that I have to say that. And I'm praying that it doesn't remain that way. But history has taught us that it's going to happen to us because we are who we are. And that is the oppressed, the suppressed, and the depressed. Come on back on the other side of the break. I promise we're going to get into some baseball talk. We got the power rankings coming up. Hopefully Natalie will be able to join us. Mike Martinez, he's also out. Congratulations on the new Bambino. Y'all come on back on the other side of the break. Hashtag Brothers of Baseball. To the dopest engineer in the game, Big Day, Willie Epstein Jr. We'll be right back after this brief break.